All right, what's going on, guys? Caden Cleveland back here again with the Oklahoma Senate, and we are about to shoot another episode of OK Senate on Deck here in a second. Senator Greg Treat, the President Pro Tem of the Oklahoma Senate, is going to be joining us. What we're going to be talking about today, guys, is what is going on over the interim, and what's coming up is interim studies here at the Capitol. So what we're going to be doing is talking about what exactly those look like, a few of the different interim studies that have been requested by different members, and then also getting into Medicaid. There's a working group that's about to be developed here with different House and Senate members. So we're going to be getting into that and explaining what exactly the purpose of that working group is and what they hope to accomplish with that. So hang tight, guys. We'll be right back with another OK Senate on Deck. See you in a second. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of OK Senate on Deck. Of course, just like every week with our President Pro Tem of the Oklahoma Senate, Senator Greg Treat. Senator, how's your summer going?
It's going well, staying busy, having meetings and learning things.
Absolutely, and more importantly, as we're filming this right now, it's about 100 degrees outside, so I'm glad we're inside the Capitol enjoying the air conditioning.
My son just texted me. He was upset that his football camp was canceled because of the hot weather. So
they canceled it because of the hot weather?
Yeah, you got to take their health seriously.
Of course, that's an OU camp, is that right?
No, it should be.
Come on,
it should be.
Go.
Now, that son is an OSU fan for some reason.
Oh, which one is this? Is this
Mason?
Mason? God, what happened there?
I don't know. I love him, but some people fall astray. OSU's a good school too. It's not OU.
Oh, I got you. Well, you bring up something very interesting. We're in the middle of summer right now, but right around the corner, fall's coming, which of course OU football's right around the corner. Any good predictions for this year's OU football season?
Yep, third Heisman Trophy, so it's going to be a back-to-back quarterback Heisman Trophy.
Of course, obviously. Right.
And the next national championship. So it's about just another year.
Yeah, just the easiest prediction you could possibly make, right?
Yeah, I believe it.
Absolutely. Well, Pro Team, we're in the middle of summer here. A lot of things going on still at the Capitol. One of the things coming up here that I want to get your take on today is interim studies. Mm-hmm. Specifically, well, first off, before we go into any interim studies, let's first explain. Do you mind explaining to us what is an interim study and why it's so important for the legislative process?
Yeah. So interim, just on its very basic, is the time between sessions. So after we get out of session, usually at the end of May, and before we get back in session at the beginning of February, studies that members submit, and then my office on this side, I approve or deny those study requests, and then we assign them out to committees, and the committees sometime in the fall generally will take up those, and they'll hear the pros and cons of whatever the issue is. And they'll bring in experts, and the members are able to ask questions.
Right.
Open public meetings, so I encourage people to, if they're interested in any of the ones, they get published before long. We had quite a few interim studies requested, and I'm in the process of going through those right now. Last year, we studied an interim study what became Loft, the Legislative Office of Fiscal Transparency. We studied that in the interim. Made it Senate Bill 1 and got it to the governor's desk.
So, I mean, that right there just shows the significance and the importance that these interim studies have. One, it's an opportunity for members to take a deeper look into topics that they care deeply about. But two, like you said, it's an opportunity for other members to learn more about a subject that will carry into session, just like Loft or Senate Bill 1 happened this year.
Yeah, if members take it seriously, and they are taking them seriously, you can gain a lot of information, and you can see, hey, what do we not know enough about? So before we get to session, we get those roadblocks out of the way.
That's good.
It's a really good opportunity, because when you're in session, it's just flying so fast that you don't really have an opportunity to set everyone down, look at it in more detail. It's just a great opportunity if people take advantage of it. And I've had quite a number of my fellow senators, Republicans and Democrats, request a good number of studies this year, so it's going to be a busy interim again.
And just a brief look at the list of all the interim study requests. I mean, there's a very diverse topic list. Everything: education, government efficiencies, pensions,
healthcare,
everything that really touching all
county government
areas.
Modernization.
Exactly, all areas are really being touched for members to learn more about and to help us leading into next session. So. One other thing I wanted to ask you about, and I'm not sure if this falls under the interim study topic or not, but it's a working group on Medicaid. And can you kind of give us some insight on that? And it's a newer thing that's coming just this session. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the speaker and I last year agreed to do a study group on marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And we did that. It was extremely successful.
Very successful, yes.
And bipartisan, bicameral group of legislators to look at that issue after the voters had passed an initiative petition to say, okay, what do we need to do? And it was extremely successful. Great participation by members. And so we're taking that model and applying it to Medicaid. Medicaid and just access to healthcare in general is a huge issue.
Right.
It's one that we can't ignore. And so the speaker and I have agreed to do an interim. It's not an interim study because the interim study is a different deal assigned to a committee, a standing committee. This is a working group, especially an ad hoc committee that is created by me and the speaker to look at these things. And I'm excited to get to work on that.
Gotcha. So this will be a more, almost a little more maybe broad and in-depth look because it's a working group rather than an interim study?
Yeah, and it's not going to be assigned to a standing committee. So all these other interim studies will be assigned to like the Committee on Education or Insurance and Pensions. This will be a special committee made up just for the purpose of studying Medicaid.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this question because...
You know, and one of the things, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
great.
As I travel some to meetings throughout the interim and visit with my fellow pro tems across the country and fellow senators across the country, you glean a lot of information on how other states have handled this. So I've been in talks on Medicaid about, hey, what are other states doing? Like, what has their experience been? Has it been positive? Has it been negative? Have they expanded? Have they not? And it's really an information gathering period of the year. And been extremely productive in that vein.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you just a quick question here on just the general topic of Medicaid. This has been a topic that's been widely discussed lately. It's gotten a lot of attention as of late. What is the reason behind it that this just lately has gained so much traction and attention?
Well, you know, I think it's really not just been lately. It's been ever since Obamacare was implemented. There's been a struggle between states that have expanded, states that have not. What are the benefits? What are the downside? So it's been an ongoing discussion. Now there has been an initiative petition filed to look at expansion. So that's an issue. But we were looking at it well before that initiative petition about what do we do.
Right.
Senator McCourtney had an Oklahoma plan that he ran out last year, put a lot of thought into it. And others had some ideas. So we need to coalesce between where do we go forward as a state.
Gotcha. And with this being such a topic, kind of a, I guess, not controversial, but kind of getting a lot of attention lately on Medicaid, just like you said with the interim studies, those are an open forum. People are welcome to attend those and hear about them. Is that going to be the same setup for this for this Medicaid deal?
Absolutely.
Because I know it's been people a lot of across the state are very interested in this topic. So I guess if you're at home listening to this and you want to learn more about what's going on with this Medicaid conversation here at the Capitol, feel free to sit in on any of those meetings. Is that right, Pro Tem?
Yeah, and we'll put the schedule up on oksenate.gov. Hopefully we'll have something on the homepage that people can access easily, but we will be promoting it. I'm sure the House will be as well. Governors can have some people that come and participate as well. So I think that this is going to be an exciting opportunity to really decide, not just a demagogue or not just dig in and say, no, we're not moving this way or that way, but to say, okay, access and cost are real issues. And how do we best address them in the state of Oklahoma?
That's good, absolutely. One more topic I wanted to ask you about just very quickly, and it's just to get an update on Loft, the Legislative Office of Fiscal Transparency. We talked about it just briefly a few minutes ago, but that bill was passed. It's signed by the governor. Can you give us a quick update on where we're at in that setting up of Loft?
Yeah, so Roger Thompson and I have been talking a lot. Charles McCall and I have been talking some about it. They have to have a meeting per the legislation before August 1. And so July 30th, they'll have an official meeting. And it will be bipartisan and bicameral. So there'll be members of the House and Senate and members of the Republican and Democratic Party. And they will start the process of trying to figure out who to hire to be the director.
Right.
Hope that's a critical decision.
Yes.
Of how that entity goes and the direction that it goes. So taking that extremely seriously, and so are the committee members. But that work will get started in earnest by the end of this month.
Love it. Absolutely. That's very exciting news. I'm very excited to see what that new I guess what's the word for not a
New
organization?
entity.
Yeah, new entity.
Yeah.
Is going to be able to do to benefit our state. So that's amazing. Well, Pro Tim, we're about out of time here, but do you have anything else to add before we sign off?
No, excited. Can't wait to see OU win another national championship this fall.
Absolutely.
And, the kids are playing their sports, so I'm staying busy inside and outside the Capitol.
Love it, absolutely. Well, guys, I hope you're able to learn a little bit about what's going on here at the Capitol with the interim studies, the working groups on Medicaid. Again, those are open to anybody who wants to either view them online or come here to the Capitol and sit in and interact with our elected legislators here at the Capitol. So, but of course, the most important thing to take away from this podcast is that Pro Tem has once again made the prediction that OU will win another Heisman Trophy this year and will win a national championship. Right, Pro Tim?
I have. I've made that same prediction since I think 1981, and it's come true quite a few years in between.
Absolutely.
But it's been a while since the national championship, so I'm bound to be right this year.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Odds are just in your favor right now.
They are, and I always will bet on OU.
Love that. Absolutely. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. You can view any of our podcasts if you want to. We're now available on iTunes. You can go and subscribe there. All you have to do is go onto iTunes and search Oklahoma Senate Republicans, and we'll be the first podcast right there. If you subscribe and leave us a nice comment, you'll be updated on all of our latest podcasts. Stay in the loop on what's going on here at the Capitol. So really want to encourage you to do that for sure. Pro Tim, anything else?
No, thank you.
Love it. Absolutely. Hey, guys, thanks again for joining us. And I guess we'll see you here again in a few weeks. Bye, guys.